Hello, my name is Ali, and welcome to my channel. We are back with Caller X Malice, Okazaki's route. Let's go. That's just a convenient excuse, though. The truth was, I'd been so shocked by what I saw that I didn't feel like watching the video. Pathetic for a police officer. I'm sorry to say I haven't seen the video yet. When I answered honestly, Minagishi didn't seem upset. He just nodded.
Would you like to watch it now, then?
Minagishi opened a laptop computer and turned it toward me. I love how he asked, but he didn't care what your answer was. You're still going to watch it. An imposition of love can become a weapon. This is especially true of deluded love. Even though a woman is menaced by that weapon, the police tell her that there's no crime. Adonis will pound the gavel of judgment upon the one who drowned women in fear.
This is believed to be the statement Adonis issued for the stalker homicide.
Yesterday's gun homicide is related to August. It all started with that online game. Based on the statement, it's sensible to conclude that this case is also connected to a past event.
So you're saying that it's connected to the stalker incident back in July?
We can't help but suspect it.
The assailant in the July case was in detention. The woman who had been stalked by the victim, Rika Sugawara, was also suspected of being involved with Adonis and X-Day at the time. Is it true that Rika Sugawara was a victim of stalking?
Yes, there's no doubt about that point.
What if she's actually not related to Adonis, but is actually completely a victim? Would arresting her be causing her immeasurable mental anguish?
If she really is completely unrelated, I suppose it is.
Oh. You didn't find any evidence connecting her to Adonis back then, right?
As you said earlier, it is a known fact that Sugawara had been harassed by her stalker for a long time. For that reason, after the July homicide, we didn't dig really too deeply during our interviews with her. The police had absolutely failed her by allowing her to be tortured for as long as we did. Even the noblest person would have felt that she'd been wronged by the police.
She was a victim and not a strong suspect, so the police hadn't felt the need to push her too hard in their interviews. And the assailant was in jail anyway. Even if she was taken in for incitement to murder, it'd be a difficult case without evidence. Incitement of murder. The crime of inciting others to commit the crime of murder. The one who committed the murder and the one who incited it would be subject to prosecution.
But we can't treat her that way this time. There's no reason to rule her out as a suspect.
That ended the conversation for now, so I was dismissed and told to return to SRCPO. I still don't really know what they wanted with me. The perpetrator this time was connected to the X-Day incidents. We were inching closer and closer to the countdown hitting 0. I don't want to see something that awful again. I want to prevent all future incidents. If I was going to be successful at that, I knew that I had to learn a lot more about the past incidents. December 8th incident had been added to materials. Immediately after I returned to my desk, Moshida came over with a worried look.
Was it okay? Did they hassle you? Wait, what exactly did you do anyway?
I didn't do anything.
They weren't mad at you?
No, they just wanted to ask me about this morning.
If that's all, then good.
He's such a worrier. But it made me truly happy to know that there was someone who genuinely cared for me right here. Morioka and Minagishi seem to suspect people within the police force. Even I'm practically a spy since I'm wearing this collar. It did seem like they already had their doubts about me as well. But there were already people among the criminals with prior history and evidence to connect them. The thought gave me goosebumps. One of them is nearby. What if the person who collared me is nearby?
Hey, Hoshino, what's wrong?
Huh?
You seem down. If they got too pushy, just let me know. I'll go and have a word with them for you.
No, I'm really fine. Moshida's worried face shook me out of my dark thoughts. Once I start doubting people, it'll never end. So I should just do what I can for now. Moshida, I actually have a favor to ask.
Oh? Anything, tell me.
If you have time today, there's somewhere I'd like you to go with me.
Hmm?
We're driving in a car. Okay, this is an interesting chart. Office worker Rika Sugawara, 25 years old, harmed police. During the crime was attacked by Shimizu before fleeing. Unemployed Hiroto Shimizu, 29 at the time. Repeated instances of stalking. Wow, I'm messing up big time on this. During the crime, attacked using an edged weapon. There's the name I told you that we've already dealt with in Inamoto's route. Office worker Tomaki Ogata, 34 years old. Arrested in the act. Detained. Present at the scene of the crime. Wait, let me just see. Claims self-defense. I was like, what does it say? He killed Hiroto. Witness statement. A man wielding an edged weapon screamed, "Let's die together," before attacking the female victim. A bystander attempted to protect the woman and was wounded by the attacker who drew blood. The stalker was painfully confused. All right. Oh, is it really going to go over this after I already read it? Oops. The name of the deceased victim was Hiroto Shimizu. He had obsessively been stalking a woman for a while. The woman who had been the target of his stalking was Rika Sugawara. Yeah, it's pretty much going over it again. At the time of the incident, Shimizu had planned to commit a murder-suicide in public and rush Sugawara with an edged weapon. A passerby pushed Sugawara out of the way to protect her and then stabbed Shimizu to death in a scuffle. The intervening passerby arrested at the scene was Tomaki Ogata. He was currently in detention. July incident report has been added to materials. On the surface, it appeared to be a simple case, and it wasn't even initially classified as an next-day crime at the time. Even when an Adonis coin was discovered while searching Shimizu's home, the police's opinion on the case hadn't changed. However, Adonis then uploaded a video statement referencing the killing in the following month. Okie dokie. Ogata had been temporarily detained. A man was arrested for defending himself. Did you find this unreasonable? This woman had been plagued by her stalker for ages, but the police did nothing. We, Adonis, could not overlook this, so we passed judgment on the victim's behalf. Countdown to X Day. 6. Also, this month's countdown is 5. Soon, our judgment shall fall again. Due to this video, the homicide was now treated as part of the string of X-Day crimes. The assailant was arrested. He insisted upon his innocence. I hate when it does that. Hakuoki does it too. And that he acted in self-defense, but the case's motive and larger scope were unknown. I'll ask Sugawara for more details on the case from back then.
This is Rika Sugawara's home.
Thank you.
Good for you, Hoshino. You were so worried about the stalking victim that you wanted to check on her mental health.
That's the job of the local office to begin with.
That's true. Nah, I'm just impressed.
I hadn't lied to Moshida. Sugawara hadn't been able to rely on the police to protect her from her stalker. She had deep psychological wounds. To top it off, she'd been suspected as a murderer and subject to vicious slander by the media. Though the possibility of some of it being true hadn't been ruled out. If Investigations HQ suspects her, they'll come looking for her soon enough. It could just exacerbate the damage that had already been done to her psyche. Whether or not Sugawara was related to X-Day, I was personally worried about her state of mind. Moshida, would you mind waiting here?
Yeah, I understand. Call me right away if anything happens.
Due to her circumstances, Sugawara might not respond well to men. Moshida stayed in the hallway, and I pushed the intercom in front of her door. Ding dong. Who is it? I'm Officer Lady Hoshino from the local office of Shinjuku Police Station. There was a silence. I've told you everything there is to know. Please leave. An icy voice came back over the speaker. Please, wait a moment. I'm not here because of the investigation. I just came to make sure you're safe. Have you noticed anything unusual lately? You're checking on me? After all this time? After writing me off as having a persecution complex or being overly sensitive every time I complained? Now, I'm under suspicion because of yesterday, and you're claiming you want to see if I'm all right? That's not true at all, is it? I was at a loss for how to respond to that. She appeared to still be deeply mistrustful of the police. The police had been sloppy in their handling of the stalker, but it seemed they had been equally bad in their treatment of the victim. All of us in the police are responsible for the way you feel now. I'm deeply sorry for what happened to you. But we don't want to repeat the same mistake. It's true some suspect you for yesterday's fire. Would you mind speaking to me to clear that up? Again, there was a silence. I nervously waited for Sugawara's reply. You're by yourself? There's no men out there? My partner is here, but he'll wait outside. A short while after I said that, the door quietly opened. Oh, she is interesting looking. That hair, my goodness. Hello, I'm Rika Sugawara. In contrast to her fearful tone over the intercom, I was slightly surprised to see her so calm. I had thought that I might not be able to talk to her due to her mistrust and fear of the police, so this was a bit unexpected. I'm Lady Hoshino from the SRCPO. I reintroduced myself and bowed. We apologize for still being unable to solve the case and for making you feel unsafe. On behalf of the police, I deeply apologize for the pain that was caused to you and our failure to prevent it. There's no excuse for the way you were treated. Look, enough of that. It was an expressionless voice. I looked up. This is way too late. My life has already been ruined, utterly destroyed. In contrast to her words, she smiled thinly. Creepy. She doesn't have a nose. She's missing a nose. Is everybody missing noses? Or did I just notice that? Or is it just her? I don't know. But her eyes were not laughing at all. But I've finally been reborn. I can finally live a new life. So just keep out of my way. Reborn? I didn't understand. But she was acting neither scared nor angry, and the way she spoke with a casual smile told me that she clearly didn't want my help. Looks like I won't get through to her. Asking for her trust after all this time was probably impossible. When I said nothing, at a loss, Sugawara's smile disappeared and her face grew more serious. Do you have anyone you love? Huh? Confused by the non sequitur, I tilted my head. You mean someone I like? Yeah. She probably meant to ask if I had a love interest. I loved my parents in Okazaki. They were irreplaceable to me. But as for anyone else, I couldn't say that there was. No, not really. Huh? My eyes widened at her sudden laughter. She seemed to find that oddly hilarious. After laughing for a while, she sighed and gave me a look. How sad. You still don't know love. I have someone I love. We just met recently, so now I know the feeling. What it's like to love someone so badly that you'd kill for them. The fuck? Sugawara's joyous expression bordered on madness, and it sent a chill down my spine. That person saved me. He put an end to those days where I just cried and hid all the time. Before, I had no idea what drove that Shimizu to try and kill me and himself. But now, I know. Dying together with my beloved would be the greatest joy there is. Her words made me flash back to a certain image. I love you so badly. I want to kill you. That was the phrase on the burning note. Sugawara's words matched it. Creepy. I'm grateful to Shimizu now. He taught me the true meaning of love. I was speechless, and I looked away from Sugawara, who was now smiling ecstatically. I didn't understand what she was saying, but I could tell that her experience with the stalker had twisted her mind. I think it's more than just the stalker, honey. She had been broken by having that extreme form of love forced on her, and now she had directed that twisted affection towards someone else. What should I say to her? I couldn't come up with anything to say, so I quietly smiled as if to agree with her. If you knew true love, we might be able to have a real conversation. Don't bother investigating this case. Soon, everything will be reborn.
She's freaking creepy.
Huh? Wait, what's that supposed to... My words were interrupted by the slamming of the door, and she didn't hear me. Or hear them. Close enough. When we returned to the police station, Moshida came to check on me with a worried look.
You've been looking sick ever since you talked to Rika Sugawara. What's wrong? What happened back there?
Oh, nothing in particular, really. I think I'm just a little tired. I had only told him that she didn't trust the police. As for her beloved, I was still unsure if that was directly related to the case. I withheld that out of respect for her privacy.
You should take a break. Take a half-hour nap.
Thank you, sir. I gratefully accepted Moshida's kindness. After parting ways with him, I headed for the forensics department. I was going to talk to Sakuragawa. Of course, Sakuragawa, and then there's Sugawara. They sound so alike. A lot of these names sound so alike. As I walked, I thought about what Sugawara had said. It was as if she was basically admitting to being an ex-day perpetrator. The person she loves. Tomoki Ogata, the one arrested in July, had ended up saving Sugawara. If this had been deliberate, then it meant that Ogata wasn't simply a bystander. Which means, was Ogata the savior that Sugawara fell in love with? I have to look deeper into the events of July. I quickened my pace. Sakuragawa, help! So, what do you want to talk about? I'm busy, so make it quick. Despite her sarcastic tone, Sakuragawa rushed over to me as soon as she saw me. She really was a good person. Have you learned anything new about the arson murder this morning? Have you figured out the victim's identity? The body was damaged really badly, so not yet. She denied my inquiry bluntly, but I kept pushing. The entire department believes that this event is connected to July based on the video statement, right? In order to connect the cases, I need as much information on the July homicide as possible. Can you fill me in? Sakuragawa looked at me exasperatedly and then leaned in while checking our surroundings. Investigations is watching you. I know. They've already called me in once. For real? Are you okay? I realize I'd have to be more careful now. Sugawara, see? I know I'm definitely going to be messing up that quite a few times because their names are so alike. Sakuragawa looked increasingly amazed, but then she suddenly grinned. Yeah, it'd be an issue for me if you weren't. Sorry to ask so suddenly, but could I see the old files? I can only give you the CSI memos, the evidence list, and autopsy results. Is that enough? Certainly. When I nodded, Sakuragawa brought me a stack of files from a shelf deeper in the room. You'll have to read them here. They can't leave this area. Thank you. I'm going to let you guys go here. I hope you are enjoying, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.